All right, folks, here we go. Part 2 of our video series here on reviewing algebra. We're talking about fractions today. Talking about a little bit of fractions. So I'll jump in. Let's jump in. We're going to go over the basics. We're going to go over the basics. I know we've done some in geometry. We did a little bit. Just going to remind you how to do some basic fractions. And then next video, we'll do some equations with fractions, really get it going. We really started pretty easy in this packet, but again, just reviewing some of these things, getting our mind right, feeling good about the whole thing, trying to hit on some topics that maybe, we haven't done as much this year. Let's jump in. I got 9 problems for you. That's it. Just 9 little problems. Ooh, look at that. Nice little purple. Okay, start out adding and subtracting fractions. Again, most important thing is that your fractions, when you add or subtract, they need the same denominator. They need the same denominator. This can be annoying. I realize that. Denominator. Sometimes it might be really easy, though. This first one, look at what I gave you. 1/4 plus 3/4. Add the tops. The bottom stays the same, and we get 4 over 4, which we can simplify to 1. Okay, but it's definitely not always going to be that easy. On our next one, we got 1/4 plus 2/3. So this is where we need to get the same denominator. Now, usually the easiest way to do that is just multiply the denominators and say, okay, we want to get 12ths. So we want to turn 1/4 into 12ths and 2/3 into 12ths, and then we can add them. Sometimes it'll be an easier one to do, but that can be the quickest way sometimes. So we're going to turn this 1/4 into 12, so we're going to multiply by 3 over 3. Now remember, that is totally okay because we're multiplying by 1. 3 over 3 is just 1. We can always multiply by 1. It doesn't change anything. So we get 3/12 on the left side. On the right side, we're going to multiply by 4 to get 12ths. So that's going to give me 2 times 4 gives me 8/12ths. And now the denominator is the same. And we can add those, and we get 11 over 12. Okay? Just a quick little reminder of how to do these guys. Same idea with subtraction. We want to make sure we have the same denominator. 3/5 and 1/2. Tenths make sense to me. So we're going to multiply this one by 2 over 2. Again, that's okay because that's just 1. And we get 6 over 10 minus. Multiply this one by 5 over 5. Get tenths. We get 5/10. Ooh, sorry, I cannot. It's not my best there. So we get 6/10 minus 5/10. Again, we just subtract the tops. Bottoms stay the same, and we get 1 over 10. Okay, so that's adding and subtracting, and we'll see more of that in a little bit when we do fraction equations. So that's adding and subtracting. Let's take a look what else we got. Multiplying. Now, multiplying is nice, okay? The nice thing about multiplying is they don't need the same denominator. We can just multiply the top, multiply the bottom. Multiply top and bottom. Okay, now this first one we have here is 2/5. Okay, so 2/5 times 2/5, which is the same as 2/5 squared, is the same as 2/5 times 2/5. And again, you just multiply the top, so we get 4 over 25. You take my statistics course your senior year, you will see a lot of multiplying fractions. In our probability unit, we do a lot of multiplying fractions. This should be your favorite one. This is pretty easy. Next up, 3/7 times 2/3. We get 6 on top and 21 on bottom. So it's just 6/21. Now, if we want to simplify, right? In this case, we can simplify. So I should not have boxed that. Bad job on the boxing there. Let's get rid of the box because that is simplifiable, which I don't think is a word. We can simplify this, and we want to, kiddos. We want to. We divide the top and the bottom by 3, and we get 2/7. And that is our real answer. Boom. Now, sometimes it's annoying to have to find something that you can divide at the end. So sometimes an easier way to solve these is by cross-canceling. And again, we talked about this a little bit in geometry. Some of you are still confused by this, but that's all right. If we look at this one, okay, we're doing 4/5 times 10/3. Yes, I could multiply straight across and get 40/15, but then I got to simplify. I can simplify before I even multiply. I can see that the 5 goes into the 10, and so we can cross cancel. We can cancel at the 5. We're left with a 1, and 5 goes into 10 2 times. And now this is going to be already nicely simplified for us, okay? We're going to get 8/3, 8/3. That's your answer. And we didn't even have to divide by anything or simplify. So cross-canceling, we're going to see this come up in the next one too, can be really nice to just make it easy to find a fraction answer that's nicely simplified, okay? All right, so our last one is division. And we did not see much of this in geometry this year. I don't know, it doesn't come up. We did some multiplying fractions. We did some adding or subtracting fractions, some simplifying stuff. But we didn't really see dividing by fractions. Something that, doesn't happen as much in certain things. But anyways, when you divide by a fraction, remember you flip the second one and multiply. We do not actually divide by a fraction. We flip and multiply. So we always want to just flip this, the one we're dividing by, okay? So in this case, we got 1/3 divided by 4/5. So it's going to become 1/3 times 5/4. All right, so divide, flip the second one, and multiply. So we get 5/12. 5/12. Now, when you divide something by a fraction, it gets bigger. I know that seems crazy. Maybe we should do a quick example of that here. Hold on. See if we can do, pull up the calculator. Let me, maybe this is stupid to show you, but just a reminder, like if I have 5 and I divide by, I don't know, 1 divide, but let's divide by 1/3. So 5 divided by a fraction. Can you see that? Hopefully I'm not in the way there. It gets bigger. It's 15. If you do, I don't know, 10 divided by, let's just come up with a small decimal, 1.25. It gets bigger. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you're doing these. If you divide by a fraction that's under 1, you're going to get a bigger number, okay? Let's go back to our other guy here. So that's what happened here. 1/3 divided by 0.8, it became bigger. Not huge, but it did become bigger. All right, same thing here, right? So we got 3/6. We're dividing by 9/12, but we're going to flip it. So it's going to be times 12/9. Now I did this one because, again, I thought it'd be a cool one to cross cancel, okay? So if we look at this, we can cross cancel 2 ways. So I'm looking both this way and this way. And we can cross cancel both of them. 3 goes into 9 3 times. I get a 1 on top and I got a 3 on the bottom, okay? And then on 6 and 12, 6 goes into 12 twice. So 6, I'm left with a 1 there, and 12 goes in twice, okay? So now I'm left with 1 times 2, which is 2, and 1 times 3, which is 3. And I get 2/3. So that just makes your simplification a lot easier. If we hadn't done that, we would have got 36/42. 42? Yeah. No. I always have so much trouble with 6 times 9. I don't know why, but it's 54. Isn't that like you don't want to really try to simplify this? This is annoying, right? I guess probably like something like 18 goes into both of them, but that would have been hard to come up with. You would have had to divide like by 3 like a couple of times. Instead, if you cross cancel, you just get a nice fraction. Cross canceling will save you so much time. Okay, last one, I give it a little bit of curveball, but I thought we'd do it. So we're going to do 2/3 divided by 1/4, but 1 1/4, sorry. But we want to turn that into a improper fraction before dividing. So remember, for a mixed number, you multiply this way and then add. So this is going to be 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So this is going to be 5/4. But remember, we're still dividing and we haven't flipped this yet. So it's really going to be 2/3 times 5, or sorry, 4/5. Oops. Draw that again. No cross canceling here, right? So we just got to straight up multiply and we get 8/15. And I don't think that's simplifiable. So that is it. Good work, folks. That's your little fraction reminder. Next time I see you, we'll do equations with fractions.